tonight's episode, Bigfoot Special. Welcome to Unreal Mysteries with David and Hannah.
David and Hannah. I think where do we even start with that?
I'm Hannah, by the way.
And I'm David. And today we're hot on the trail of a legend. We're talking Bigfoot.
That's right.
To really get a grip on this whole Bigfoot thing, we got to start at the beginning. We're talking 1870. They were captured in an article from the Alaskan Sentinel. It's amazing what they went through. Imagine, just for a second, you're a settler, right? Heading out into the wilderness, and suddenly you come face to face with something you just can't explain. And this one particular account, a trapper named John Abernathy, described this encounter with, get this, a hairy man. And he said it was tall as a man, but much broader, covered in hair from head to toe.
Wow.
And Abernathy, he wasn't the only one with stories like this. But then you have the native tribes.
They'd known about these beings. It's almost like Bigfoot wasn't some scary monster to them, just another part of their world, you know?
Speaking of different perspectives, let's jump ahead, like way ahead. So we've got a clipping here from the Chicago Tribune.
Okay.
Way back in 1962.
Okay.
And it talks about residents freaking out because their trash cans are being raided by a large, hairy man.
Classic Bigfoot.
Can you imagine stepping out to grab your morning paper and you see a 7-foot-tall, hairy creature digging through your trash?
Oh, that would be something else.
Well, that's exactly what some residents, people like Samuel Wright and Helen Lewis, that's what they said happened, right in their quiet little neighborhood.
It really does make you wonder, like, what is everything we think we know? It's not the whole story.
We actually have another article here from the Galactic Gazette.
The Galactic Gazette? Seriously, who comes up with these names?
I don't know, but it's a real page-turner.
Now, there's a publication that knew how to spin a yarn. They weren't too bothered about the line between fact and fiction, especially when it came to Bigfoot.
Yeah, they weren't exactly known for being, like, the most reliable source.
Yeah.
But in 1982, they went all in on this Bigfoot UFO connection. Bigfoot sightings were up, UFO sightings were up, and according to them, It was no coincidence.
Right. It really shows how that idea of Bigfoot and UFOs together, it just grabbed people's attention back then.
And they really went for it, like full-on sci-fi mode. I'm talking stories about Bigfoot hopping into spaceships, talk about intergalactic scouts and alien colonists hiding out in national parks. It's crazy. Who knows?
I mean, at this point, nothing would surprise me.
Right.
But seriously, what's the deal with all these Bigfoot UFO connections?
Well, I'll be honest, the Galactic Gazette might be pushing the boundaries of journalistic integrity. Just a tad.
You think?
Okay, so we ready to get a little stranger?
Always.
Let's do it. Because our next source takes a hard left turn into some really out there territory.
Okay, laid on.
We have a journal entry from someone who claims that Bigfoot isn't just raiding trash.
So the author calls himself JM, and he claims Bigfoot, they're not just these like reclusive creatures hiding out in the woods. JM, he calls them, get this, alien engineers.
Alien engineers, that's a new one.
Right. And this journal, it goes into detail about these encounters with Bigfoot, but not just out in the wilderness, but around, wait for it, UFO sightings.
All right, so we're not talking about some, quick little scribble in a diary.
Yeah.
This is someone who says they've spent years observing these creatures.
Years.
And they're convinced that Bigfoot is basically an intergalactic mechanic.
So according to JM, Bigfoot was directly involved in the maintenance of these supposed spacecraft.
A maintenance?
Yeah.
Like they were running a repair shop out there?
Pretty much. They described seeing the creatures using advanced tools to repair panels, adjust mechanisms, even inspect the hulls of these UFOs.
So not just joyriding in them.
So not just like duct tape and WD-40.
No, we're talking like futuristic laser beams and anti-gravity devices or something.
So you're telling me there's a chance that Bigfoot is out there in the woods tinkering with spaceships?
Hey, I'm just reporting what the sources say.
Okay, fair enough.
If this JM character saw all of this going down,
Yeah.
shouldn't there be some kind of proof?
Right. Pictures, videos, something?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And
Yeah.
it's one that's plagued Bigfoot researchers for decades. I
Yeah.
mean, where's the hard evidence?
Right, where's the smoke and ray gun or whatever?
Exactly.
We've gone from these hairy creatures in the woods to like, I don't know, extraterrestrial mechanics or something.
If what JM says is true, it means Bigfoot is way more intelligent, way more advanced than we ever thought.
Exactly.
What if these creatures possess an understanding of technology that's far beyond anything we can currently comprehend?
That is a mind-blowing thought.
It is a lot to consider.
Interesting.
It's a question that researchers of both the paranormal and the extraterrestrial have been grappling with for decades.
I bet. But even if we set aside the whole alien mechanic thing for a moment,
Okay.
there's still the question of what Bigfoot actually is.
Right.
We've got a 1910 article here from the Anthropological Review.
Okay, scholarly.
A little bit, yeah. So this article dives into the possibility of Bigfoot being a real undiscovered hominid. Oh, possibly even related to ancient humans?
Wait, are you saying Bigfoot might not be a missing link, but a missing relative?
The article talks about the concept of relict hominids, which are essentially surviving populations of ancient human ancestors.
Okay.
So think about it. We discover new species all the time.
True.
So the idea that a primate, a hominid, could have remained hidden all this time, it's not entirely outside the realm of possibilities. And this whole idea of Bigfoot's intelligence, like their ability to not just understand technology, but to use it, that comes up again in our next source. We're in 1995, and this time we're in Tokyo. Now, Tokyo, it's not exactly known for its vast wilderness, right? But there are these reports of Bigfoot sightings. But not just sightings, these Bigfoot, they seem to be trying to fit in, to integrate into human society.
Oh, wait, hold up. Bigfoot in Tokyo.
So in 1995, the Tokyo Daily Herald ran this article about people seeing, these hairy, tall figures out and about in public. Imagine a Bigfoot trying to fit in, in a big city like Tokyo, trying to read a newspaper, struggling with a vending machine, maybe even tripping on the sidewalk.
I love it. Speaking of making stuff up, get ready because our next source, the Galactic Gazette.
Oh, the Galactic Gazette.
It mentions this Dr. Elaine Raddick. She believes that Bigfoot might be some kind of intergalactic scout, using our forests as camouflage. Like, what does that even mean? Are they scouting out the best places to land for an invasion? Are they checking to see if we've invented laser beams yet? And you got to remember, these sightings, they go way back.
Oh, I know.
Long before the internet.
Right.
And shaky cell phone footage.
Okay.
But speaking of strange, our next source claims they actually intercepted a message from Bigfoot. And get this, it was Morse code.
Morse code. Now that is an interesting twist.
Right.
So this article was in a 2023 issue of the Astronomical Journal of the Unseen. An astronomer claimed they picked up these weird signals from space, spent ages trying to decode them, and guess what? It was Morse code.
And it was Bigfoot sending it, of course. Morse code messages from aliens. And guess what they're about?
You're not going to tell me it's about Bigfoot being intergalactic plumbers, are you?
Even better. According to Dr. Allen, these messages reveal that Bigfoot is actually a vanguard for an alien invasion. They're here to soften us up, you see. Get us used to the idea of large, hairy creatures roaming around before they unleash their full force.
Okay, now that one is pretty out there, I have to admit. Alien invasion.
I know,
Really?
I know. But hear me out. Remember that shortwave radio message we got in 1992? The one referencing Trogdor?
Oh yeah, the one written in Old Norse or something like that. What was it again? All hail Trogdor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Chilling. Right. And get this, it was written using the Elder Futhark alphabet, the one used by Vikings.
So are you thinking Trogdor is like the name of their leader or something? Like their supreme overlord of hair and muscle?
Maybe. It's almost like they're trying to psych us out before the invasion even begins.
It's an interesting thought. Makes you think about the bigger picture.
So where does that leave us? I mean, we've gone from giant footprints and mysterious howls in the woods to like full-blown alien invasions and secret Bigfoot families living in the suburbs. It's a lot to process.
And I think that's a good place to wrap things up for today.
Isn't part of the fun of life, of anything, not knowing everything for sure? The possibility that there's more out there.
I'd have to agree with you there.
So, to everyone listening, keep those minds open, stay curious, and hey, next time you're out in the woods, take a second to listen closely. You never know what you might hear. Until next time, happy exploring, everyone.